Okay, so here's why I don't mind that there is a remastered version of Last of Us Part Two. When I first heard of it, when I first heard the rumor, I was happy as fuck. To be honest, I was just there's something about remastered versions for PS4 and PS5 and like remakes that gets me happy. I don't know. It just I want that new experience for the new system and for the just the quality of the game itself. And I like that in video games. Like some people complaining about they made a remake for the part one and it was really necessary. First off, The Last of Us Part One remake was the most necessary thing to have ever happened ever. To be honest, because think about it, it came out all the way in PS3, and it was great there. But then they say no, let's make it for PS4 since PS4 just came out and everyone's able to experience it in a whole new light. PS4 was very powerful, but it didn't get the job quite as done as PS5 version, obviously. Now the PS4 version, I was happy as fuck for because it told me that I didn't have to go out and get the PS3 version, like or pay the PS3 version on PlayStation Now. At that time, PS Now was still out before it merged into PS Plus itself, you know. But at that time, I didn't have to like before I was playing Batman Arkham Origins still on the PS3, or I could stream it on the PS4 on my PS4. Hell, even now I could probably stream it on my PS5. But yeah, anyway, I was doing that. So the fact that they made this PS4 remaster version for Blast Ops Part One, and then they made a remake for the whole new system, and we all know new systems are usually the most powerful things ever. Like when they make a new system, it's gonna be powerful. Period. So when that came out for the PS5, I told myself like I was really planning on playing Last of Us games in order again. When that was announced, I said let me get the Part One and play that in full, and then start playing Part Two again. And I did that. I recently got the Platinum Trophy too. I was always a platinum chaser like that or a trophy chaser, and I recently became one. First trophy was God of War 2018. Recent one was Last of Us Part 1. Now I'm playing Part 2, going for that trophy. But I digress. I was happy I beat the game and got a trophy for that. However, it's good they didn't make a remake, I guess, for the PS5 version, right? Because that would have been, if they would have made a remake for The Last of Us Part 2, a whole remake for the PS5, I would have understood why that would get a whole lot of flack. Fine. But they made it remastered. It's like, yes, it did get 6 frames per second a few months ago or whatever. But a remaster is a whole different thing. Like, why is everybody complaining? Like, I'm glad. Like, I want to feel that PS5 type version inside the game while playing it, whether it's in the controller or just the gameplay itself. Does it feel smooth while playing it? Sure, yeah, it feels smooth. I mean, I've been dealing with this thing while dodging, like, for a little slower and stuff. Like, I don't like it. I don't know if it's early or not. I know you gotta do it at perfect timing, but no, the dodging mechanics feel a little weird to me when I played part two, at least on the PS5. You know, not saying it didn't feel like that on the PS4. I don't remember exactly how I felt on the PS4 because I haven't played the PS4 version of The Last of Us Part Two since the year it came out. To be honest, I beat the game once, started a new game with 10 cheat codes on and off. Then I just stopped playing altogether because I just started playing other PS4 games, and I was just like, no, this game is too fun. Let me just move on to other games. And then eventually I did get RD2, and you know, but yeah. Anyway, the dodge mechanics feel a little slow, and that's just part two playing the PS5. And it does feel smooth, like I said, but some things are a little bit slower. Like it still feels like it had a slight setback when I played the part two. It's a slight step back. Now with this remastered version, I hope that it will push it to a more smoother mechanic type style, and like when you press a button, you want to react reaction time right then and there. Like, like you know, I will say I did recently buy the DualSense Edge, and that helps. You know, you can press the trigger and sensitivity and faster reaction time. But what if you don't have a DualSense Edge controller and you just want a fast reaction time for shooting and stuff like that? You know, like shit like that. And you just want a smooth experience, of course. Like, and there are video games that have smooth experience. It has smooth experience for the PS4 version. It felt smooth, the most smoothest, great looking game on PS4 when it came out. Period. It just was. There was just no other way to really. It just was. But however, it was just I don't know. I just this has got me hyped, and I do feel a little weird because I started playing it already, and now I'm just like, but we play games over and over again, anyways. Like how many times did we play the Last of Us Part One on PS3 and PS4? There are people that got to play it on PS3, and I didn't. So how many times do you think people got to play it on PS3 a couple times, 3 times maybe, possibly even 4? And then when PS4 Remastered came out, they said, let's try this. And they played that 2 or 3 times. And then a whole new system came out. Yes, hell yeah. Now, I really want to feel this way. I'm going to get it fast. In my mind, I'm thinking, yo, I got to make sure I have enough money saved up. I mean, it's not going to cost like $100, $200. I'm just saying enough money that I could spare at that time, right moment to pre-order it for the full $60, $70. But then I forgot, yeah, it's announced that it's a $10 upgrade, like it was for the Spider-Man Remastered. That was that's awesome. Like I was hyped. Oh shit, $10? Definitely getting that. Like I remember when the first time the Spider-Man 2018 Remastered was announced, I was kind of looking for it after the fact, and I couldn't find it. I was like, okay, I guess they just stopped selling it overall. But then when I finally got the PS5 and it was announced again during some holiday deal, or whatever, I realized they made that specifically for the PS5. I was like, oh, that's why I couldn't find the PS4 version. Or that's why I couldn't find it in general because they were selling it for a little while and then it stopped. Or I just want to show them my PlayStation Store because PS4. But anyways, tonight upgrade, yes, I'm going to get that. I'm going to start a whole new game plus custom mode. And a custom, what I do now, I started this in Last of Us Part 1 remake. I put just about every difficulty version setting on grounded, put one of them on survivor plus, but it's basically still a grounded difficulty I'm playing on. The one that you put everything on grounded plus in a custom mode because obviously you might as well just play on grounded. But I'm gonna put that all on grounded just so I can use my cheat codes by limiting ammo and all the bullshit. Cause I deserve that for being the game, once already on PS4, which was hard as fuck already for that version. Not saying it was like OD difficult for me, like in general, because I'm a gamer. I know how to game and play games, right? But it was still a difficult game. PS4. I'm gonna use my cheat codes, have fun with that shit, and let's see how smooth everything is when I get that. Now, it comes out. I was hoping it would say at least December, but that shit said January. I'm like, damn, January, and not even like January 5th, 6th, 8th, January 19th. Like, really? The 19th? I just get it as a New Year thing. Like, we could freaking do the countdown for New Year's and still, have the game 2 days after New Year started. It's crazy. I just want a whole. I just like PS5 versions of things now. I'm not saying I'm not even going to say they just stop making PS4 games altogether. I mean, I am a little biased because if I had a PS4 and I was seeing all these YouTubers say this stuff, like, oh, stop making PS4 games, we need the full PS5 version, I would be like, damn, shut up. Like, I still got PS4 here. But I get it. I understand it. Which is why Sony is trying to promote people and convince people to just trade in the PS4 system. Me, on the other hand, I have a thing with not trading my stuff in. I just like to keep it. I just do that. Like, even the iPhone I'm using to record this, I'm using the mic, but I could have traded this iPhone a long time ago to get the 14, 15. I just don't want to. I want to keep this. Get another iPhone. Having two unlocked phones is the best thing ever. Like when you grow up, you start buying phones. Sometimes you fall back on payment, and you get your phones locked and all that bullshit. The most, my saying it for phones is unlock the better. So I like having multiple unlocked phones or two phones in general. Just have it there. I could use for different things, different reasons. Let one charge, etc., etc. But I digress. I wasn't gonna change my PS4 for PS5 anyway. I just kidding. And on top of that, here's this fun fact: it took me about 4 years to get the PS4 because at that time, it was my mom who was still buying gaming systems. Last gaming system she bought was the Xbox One, 2015 with 2K15, and ever since then she wasn't going to buy another system. it's like we always had two systems in the house in a way, but in her mind, one system was enough. I know it was a lot of money, all that shit, but I was just so devastated because I couldn't play God of War 20. I couldn't play certain PlayStation exclusives, and we all know they have the best exclusives and the most. So I couldn't play certain exclusives for PS4 at least, and the PS3 was like there, but it's still PS3, you know. So I bought so many games on the Xbox. I'm a gamer in general. I'm gonna buy the Xbox regardless. Just like now, I got the Series X, but you know, I needed a PS4, and it took me 4 years to get that shit. Cause I started working and I started working hard enough, and then my taxes came, and I got this, and I finally went to buy it. First game I had for it was Infamous Second Son because it came with it. And then a couple weeks after that, I bought Spider-Man 2018. Then I bought God of War. Um, actually, I did bought God of War. Yeah, a few months after that because it came out. I got the PS4 basically in 2018, if I'm not mistaken, or 2014, 15. Yeah, something like that. But I only had it for like 2 to 3 years. I'm gonna say 2 to 4 years, or 2 to 5 before I eventually got the PS5, which I got 2 years after the release date. So I was gonna trade in. So people who are not trading the PS4 in, I understand. But you got to tell yourself like, no, let me work hard enough to get this PS5 finally. And now this is like it finally got degraded in price, so that's great. I'm just saying like I understand you're one of the people that doesn't want to trade something in for the other version. Some people do it fast and they do it and they let go fast. I can't. Like I wanna if I have a phone that's pretty good condition, great condition, it's unlocked, everything's fine. I just bought a whole new version of the phone. You know, systems too. Like I bought a whole new system, but I wanted to feel this PS5 version on the PS5. This not just a little update to upscale the frames and all that bullshit like it did for the PS4 version. I mean, I'm not gonna call it bullshit necessarily. I'm playing it, and it does feel a little. It did feel good. I'm not gonna lie. Like the frame was better. It still felt pretty smooth. Something was lagging, like the dodging mechanics. But yeah, I want to feel this version because it's made for PS5. Just like people ran for the PS4 version, and back then I remember gamers saying, "Oh, this is really necessary," because this game came out like 3 years ago. Last was Part Two, and the Last was Part One got remastered only like a year and a half later, some shit, right? So it's like, no, you don't get it. Like people want more PS5 games, so they're giving us like PS5 closest versions to it. I'm cool with that. I'm cool. And on top of that, it's only a $10 upgrade. If the was selling it in full, it probably what, just $60. Like I got Osprey that cost more than that, so I'm not even gonna. No, you really about the PS5 system. You probably one of the people. They're probably the YouTubers that bought the PS5 system exactly when it came out. Oh, it's the same year, maybe a few months later, but still in the same year. I bought it 2 years later, so I'm grateful for every PS5 version of each game. To be honest, I am grateful for it. I'm happy. I got PS5 with my hard working money. I got the Series X hard working money. I'm glad for it. Now, does Xbox need more exclusives? Sure, but at the end of the day, I'm going to buy games for Xbox X and the PS5 regardless because different memory usage and I like to separate the different games. Hell, I didn't even play Halo yet because I just never played a Halo game in my life. I had the Xbox One a long time ago, like the actual part one. Then we got 360. Still never played a Halo game in my life. I just picked up playing other games like 2K, wrestling, shit like that. Then when I got the Series X, I finally bought the whole Halo bundle. Gears of War I've been playing for years. So it's like it's important when they make PlayStation 5 specific things, is what I'm trying to say. Just like they do it for the Xbox Series XS, they have upscale and it's made for this, that. It says in the description. It's good they do this shit. So I'm not even going to complain about it. Say it's a money grab, this not. No, fuck that shit. People call it money. People call that's was part one. PS5 would make a money grab, and that shit was awesome. That was the most realistic looking game. Excuse me, the most realistic looking game, and it just felt great to play, smoothest ever, as opposed to the past versions of the Last of Us Part One. Period. I just do. I want a Last of Us Part Three? Yes, I do. I would love that. I want Last of Us Factions game. No, I want a part 3 to be honest. But Neil Druckmann is serious on putting a whole great plot behind it. Same with Pixar. I learned that Pixar, Disney, the ones who made The Incredibles, like the reason why they take long to make certain sequels, whatever, because they want a story behind it. And I understand that, but goddamn, I made it Frozen 2 pretty goddamn fast, if you ask me. And that didn't even do that good. Look how fast Frozen really died down. They have to make newer and newer movies. I mean, not saying they won't keep making movies anyway, but Frozen 2 was not as popular as Part 1, especially when the kids grew up. I've seen kids from my friend's mom's side. Her daughter loved Frozen. My little sister loved Frozen growing up. Part 2 came out. They weren't really that into it, and now it's like it's a thing in the past. I made that shit too fast. You know what I'm saying? I should have waited 10 to 15 years like I did with Incredibles, Pixar. I know I'm kind of ranting here. I'm just saying, like, I'm glad. My point is, I'm glad for this. I want to try it out because the PS5 specifically made for this. And I'd rather have a Last of Us Part 3 than Last of Us Faction. But the Part 3 of Last of Us take a little while? Maybe. I'm not even that mad at that. I just want it to be announced and confirmed. Period. I don't want no factions game. Not saying it won't be fun. I can imagine playing two-player game with my siblings and going against these creatures and not really having to rely on the NPC. Even though Dina does do a pretty great job, NPC does pretty great in this in these recent games like Last of Us and God of War. God of War is a little different because the trailer is still young, so that has difficulties and different points of views. But yeah, y'all know what I mean. I'm just saying NPCs do more in these recent games, or at least new games, as opposed to PS3s and stuff. However, it'd be nice to play a Last of Us game with a teammate, sure, but I'd rather have a Last of Us Part 3, to be very honest. Like, I could even see Abby and Ellie teaming up, if you think about it. Can you even imagine that? Like, I felt that would be a good team. They doing something, maybe helping people, maybe helping the scars more, they helping the scars side, like Abby was doing, or maybe helping people, maybe go against Abby's squad, who are not necessarily bad people, but like, they still have their own agendas that make them bad, if you know what I mean. But anyways, I ranted enough. Let me just, if you have any comments and what your thoughts on Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, is it a waste of time to do? Is it worth it, especially if you already have the game? And do you rather have Last of Us Factions or Last of Us Part 3? Definitely let me know in the comments below. Please subscribe. Peace. Thanks for listening.